Hey everybody, Adam Davidson, RadCast for Tuesday, June 13, 2023. Here we go in Mark chapter 12, verses 44 through, make that 41 through 44. It goes like this. Jesus sat down opposite the place where the offerings were put and watched the crowd putting their money into the temple treasury. Many rich people threw in large amounts, but a poor widow came and put in 2 very small copper coins worth only a few cents. Calling his disciples to him, Jesus said, "Truly I tell you, this poor widow has put more money into the treasury than all the others. They gave out of their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put in everything, all she had to live on." And that's the word of the Lord. This story came to my mind when I read a news story from earlier this week where a family had found 1 million copper pennies in the crawl space of a relative's house. The relative had passed. They were cleaning out the place, and they found 1 million pennies. And so they went to take it to the bank, and the bank said, "We can't take them. We don't have any room for them." So now they're selling them online. Now, 1 million pennies is worth $10,000. The family is selling it for $20,000 because they figure there's got to be some valuable coins in there, like the expensive pennies or the pennies that are printed upside down or, say made in China or something like that on some bizarre like typo that the mint will do every once in a while, that they're selling them for twice as much as what they're worth and hoping that they find a buyer. Will they find a buyer? I don't know. Would you buy $20,000 for $10,000? No. Would you buy $20,000 in pennies that are face value worth $10,000? Depends on what's in there. You see, money is such a funny thing. You would think that $10,000 is $10,000, but when a bank turns you down, you know that something's not right. And then when you try to turn around and sell it, but sell it for twice what it's worth, something is not right. Our sense of value is all thrown off by money, and we're attached emotionally to money. Now put yourselves in the shoes of the widow. She's got very little, if anything. 2 coins worth 1 penny. So she has some half-penny coins. 0.5 cents, puts them both in the offering box, which is for her a small fortune. It's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. I remember somebody coming to the church and they would see me on Christmas and Easter. I'd finish the sermon and go down and say hi to people after the service. And they say, "Well, here we are, Pastor." And there was this one guy that I got to know who would be there pretty regularly, maybe once every 4 to 6 months. And he would always pull me aside and he'd be like, "Pastor, just so you know, I did put something in the plate, like the offering plate." And I felt like a waiter, like was I being tipped for the sermon? It wasn't that good, so I don't think it deserved a tip. But his idea was that if he could give a little bit of money and if the pastor knew about it, he'd be okay with the big man upstairs. The big man upstairs, who at that point was the superintendent over the conference. No, I'm just kidding. I know he was talking about the Lord. But the big man upstairs, he's not super impressed by what we give. He is impressed by how we give. Really, he's the chief giver of them all. He has given his son for us, gave him up for us all. That is the greatest generosity. It's not the quantity, it's the quality. Jesus who came to die once and for all. And now you and I are called to give our lives to Jesus, not 10 or 20 minutes or even a whole day volunteering. What he really wants is the very essence of our lives. He wants us as living sacrifices. And that, of course, includes our finances. 1 million pennies. What would you do? That's RadCast.